Welcome, folks, to Wisdom and Wit. I'm Jimmy, and I'm just here to warm you up for the real stars of the show. Now, let me tell you, I've been hearing a lot about this new DOGE Act. No, not the cryptocurrency your nephew won't shut up about at Thanksgiving. I'm talking about the Department of Government Efficiency. Sounds about as exciting as watching paint dry on a DMV wall, doesn't it? But hold on to your MAGA hats, cause guess who's running this circus? None other than Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think of government efficiency, I think of a guy who tweets about alien civilizations at 3 a.m. and another who probably thinks C-SPAN is a new type of energy drink. I mean, can you imagine Elon's first day on the job? All right, team, our first order of business is to replace all government vehicles with Cybertrucks. And for casual Fridays, we're all wearing SpaceX jumpsuits. And that's when things got weird. But seriously, folks, this DOGE Act is supposed to cut down on wasteful spending, which is great, because Lord knows we need that money to build a wall around California to keep the liberals in. Yeah, I went there, and I'm going even further. Now, Senator Marsha Blackburn, bless her heart, she's behind this whole shebang. And let me tell you, that woman's got more bills than a Ducks family reunion. She's pushing this thing harder than I push my luck with the TSA when I try to bring my personal massager through security. But here's the kicker. They're calling it the DOGE Acts. Now, I don't know about you, but the last time I heard Doge, it was followed by much wow and very efficiency. Is this what our government's come to? Making laws based on memes? What's next? The Grumpy Cat Act to make everyone as miserable as the IRS. And let me tell you, if Elon Musk is involved, you know things are going to get interesting. I can see it now. Instead of filibustering, senators will have to do a Twitter poll. Should we pass this bill? Yes or LOL no. And if it doesn't pass, Elon will just buy the whole dang Senate and turn it into a gigafactory. But you know what? I'm all for it. If anyone can make our government run like a well-oiled machine, it's the guy who sent a car into space just cause he could. I mean, if he can make electric cars cool, maybe he can make C-SPAN watchable. And that's saying something. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jimmy, how's this going to affect me? Well, let me put it this way. You know how you feel when you're at Walmart at 2 a.m., standing in the only open checkout line, watching the cashier move slower than molasses in January. That's our government right now. But with Elon and Vivek at the helm, it'll be like Black Friday at a gun store. Fast, efficient, and slightly terrifying. And let's not forget about Vivek Ramaswamy. This guy's so efficient, he probably files his taxes before he even makes money. I heard he once streamlined his morning routine so much, he aged backwards. Yeah, that's right. He's Benjamin buttoning his way through life, while the rest of us are just trying to remember where we put our car keys. But here's the real question. What happens when you put a bunch of entrepreneurs in charge of the government? Will they try to upsell us on premium citizenship? And don't even get me started on the potential slogans. Make America efficient again just doesn't have the same ring to it, does it? But you know what? I'm excited. Because if there's one thing we Americans love more than complaining about the government, it's watching rich guys try to fix it. It's like a real-life version of Undercover Boss. Except instead of a CEO pretending to be a janitor, we've got billionaires pretending they understand how regular folks laugh. And let's be honest, folks, anything's got to be better than what we've got now. I mean, have you ever tried to get anything done at the post office? It's like trying to teach a cat to fetch theoretically possible. But in reality, you're just going to end up frustrated and covered in scratches. But hey, who knows? Maybe this is exactly what we need. Maybe Elon Musk will figure out a way to power the entire government with solar panels and Twitter likes. Maybe Vivek Ramaswamy will create an app that lets you vote by swiping right or left on candidates. And maybe, just maybe, we'll finally have a government that moves faster than a turtle stuck in peanut butter. And on that note, folks, I think it's time we hear from someone who knows a thing or two about efficiency and getting things done. Please welcome to the stage the man who could probably build a wall around the entire country in a weekend if you let him. The one, the only, Donald.
Thanks, Jimmy. You know, I always wondered why they call it government efficiency. It's like calling a stripper modist or AOC economically literate. Yeah, I said it. Sue me. Speaking of government efficiency, have you heard about this new DOGE caucus? No, it's not a group of Shiba Inus trying to solve the national debt. Although, let's be honest, they'd probably do a better job than most of Congress. So, Congresswoman Val Hoyle just joined this DOGE thing, delivering outstanding government efficiency. I mean, talk about an oxymoron, right? It's like military intelligence or socialist success. But hey, at least they're trying. Now, Hoyle says she's there to protect working people, seniors, and veterans when Republicans propose cuts. Because nothing says efficiency like keeping every bloated program intact. It's like going on a diet, but insisting on keeping your daily bucket of KFC. She claims this isn't a partisan issue. Yeah, and I'm sure AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene are going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya while they figure out how to trim the fat from the budget. Maybe they can start by cutting their own hot air emissions. That ought to solve climate change right there. But here's the kicker, folks. Hoyle says anyone who thinks there aren't opportunities to make government more efficient and effective is not living in the real world. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Next, she'll tell us water is wet and Biden sometimes forgets where he is. You know what's really funny? They're talking about allowing Medicare to negotiate drug pricing. Because nothing says free market like the government strong-arming private companies. Hey, while we're at it, why don't we let the DMV negotiate car prices? I'm sure that'll work out great. And they want to crack down on defense contractors who overcharge. Oh boy, I can see it now. Excuse me, Mr. Lockheed Martin, sir. Would you mind terribly if we paid a little less for that stealth bomber? No. But don't worry, folks. They're going to protect all the important stuff like Social Security, Medicare, and the Postal Service. Because nothing says efficiency like guaranteeing the survival of systems designed when rotary phones were cutting-edge technology. You know what's really rich? This DOGE thing isn't just a caucus. Oh no, it's got layers like a politically correct onion. There's an unofficial advisory panel led by Elon, Musk, and Vivek Ramaswamy. Because when I think government efficiency, I immediately think of the guy who bought Twitter to piss people off and a guy who looks like he just graduated from his high school debate team. Then there's a House Oversight Subcommittee on delivering government efficiency. Because if there's one thing the government needs, it's another committee to oversee the committees overseeing the committees. It's like Inception, but with more paperwork and less Leonardo DiCaprio. And of course, we can't forget the DOGE caucus itself. A group of legislators with a shared interest in, wait for it, any given issue. Wow, how specific. They can hold educational events and activities. But here's the best part. They can advocate for legislation. Because that's what we need, more laws. It's not like we have enough already. Why stop at thou shalt not kill when you can have thou shalt not use a plastic straw in California? You know, I've got to hand it to Hoyle. She went on some radio show to discuss this bipartisan DOGE caucus. Bipartisan. That's political speak for we'll argue for months and then do nothing. It's like a married couple agreeing to disagree about whose turn it is to do the dishes. They both end up eating off paper plates. But hey, at least they're trying, right? I mean, it's not like we have any real problems to solve. Nah, let's focus on making the government more efficient. It's like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, but with more PowerPoint presentations and less ice. You know what would make government more efficient? If they all just admitted they're in it for the power and money. Cut out the middleman, you know? Vote for me, and I promise to line my pockets while occasionally pretending to care about your problems. Now that's what I call transparency. But I guess we should be grateful. I mean, without initiatives like DOGE, how would we ever solve pressing issues like asterisk checks notes asterisk? Making sure the government runs smoothly, because that's definitely what keeps me up at night. Not the economy, not national security, not the fact that my neighbor's dog won't stop barking at 3 a.m. Nope, it's all about that sweet, sweet government efficiency. Well, folks, I think I've ranted enough about government efficiency for one night. But don't worry, the fun's not over yet. Up next, we've got Dixie, who's going to tell us all about her experiences with efficient government services. I hear she once got her driver's license renewed in under 6 hours. Talk about a miracle. Take it away, Dixie.
Well, thank you kindly, Benji. Looks like we've got ourselves a full house tonight. I haven't seen this many white folks gathered in one place since the last time Trump tried to overthrow democracy. But hey, who's counting? Now, y'all heard about this new thing called DOGE? No, not the cryptocurrency that's about as stable as my ex-husband after a bottle of moonshine. I'm talking about the Department of Government Efficiency. Sounds like an oxymoron, don't it? But get this, Bernie Sanders, that old socialist Santa Claus, is actually supporting Elon Musk on this one. I tell ya, seeing Bernie and Elon agree on something is like watching a vegan at a BBQ contest. It just ain't natural. Bernie says the Pentagon's budget is out of control. They've lost track of billions. Well, honey, I lose track of my car keys, not billions of dollars. That's like me saying, oops, I misplaced Alabama. And get this, the Pentagon failed its audit. Again, for the 7th time in a row. At this point, they're failing more consistently than my attempts at a New Year's diet. Maybe we should put them on academic probation. You know, I'm starting to think the Pentagon's accountants are using the same math Trump uses to count his electoral votes. But here's the kicker, only 13 senators voted against this military budget. 13. There are more people in line at a Chick-fil-A drive-thru on a Sunday morning, and they're closed on Sundays. Now Elon and his buddy Vivek sounds like a sitcom waiting to happen, doesn't it? The billionaire and the biotech guy, they want to cut $500 billion annually. That's more cuts than a teenager's first attempt at styling their own hair. They're going after things like the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. I guess Big Bird's gonna have to start an OnlyFans account to make ends meet. And they want to cut funding for Planned Parenthood. Well, shoot, I guess we'll have to go back to the good old days of using chicken wire and duct tape for birth control. Just like Mama taught us. But here's the problem, folks. Most of the government's money is tied up in things like Social Security and Medicare. You know, the stuff that keeps Grandma from having to choose between her heart medication and cat food for dinner. So, these DOGE fellas are basically trying to squeeze blood from a turnip. And let me tell you, I've tried to squeeze a lot of things in my day, but a turnip ain't one of them. Now, some folks are saying we can't touch defense spending. It's like trying to take a bone from a rabid dog. You might lose a finger or two in the process. But honey, if we can't trim the fat off an $886 billion budget, then we're about as useless as a screen door on a submarine. You know what I think? I think we need to put Dolly Parton in charge of the budget. That woman can balance 2 watermelons in a handkerchief top. I'm pretty sure she can handle our national finances. But seriously, folks, this whole situation is more confusing than a chameleon in a bag of Skittles. We've got socialists agreeing with billionaires, Republicans scared to touch the military budget, and Democrats clinging to social programs like a barnacle on a sinking ship. It's like watching a bunch of drunk squirrels trying to perform brain surgery. Sure, it might be entertaining, but at the end of the day, somebody's going to end up with an acorn where their frontal lobe should be. And let's not forget about our friend Mike Johnson. Bless his heart. He's calling these meetings brainstorming sessions. Honey, the only storm I see brewing is the one that's going to hit when the American people realize we're spending more money than a Kardashian at a plastic surgeon's office. So, what's the solution? Hell if I know. But I'll tell you this, if we don't figure it out soon, we're going to be in more trouble than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Well, folks, that's all the time I've got. Remember, if you're feeling down about the state of our government, just think at least you're not the person responsible for fact-checking Trump's tweets. Now that's a job that'll drive you to drink faster than my Uncle Earl at an open bar wedding. Good night, y'all. And remember, vote early, vote often, and if all else fails, just write in giant meteor 2024 inches, because sometimes starting over from scratch doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.